Life is a series of choices. The life you lead is a result of the choices you make. At any moment, millions of choices are being made on Earth. It can be something not important, such as what do I eat for lunch today? Or it can be something much more serious, a choice focusing on your future. Either way, you make choices every single day. That is what the anime My Mental Choices Are Completely Interfering with My School Romantic Comedy is about. Choices. That is probably the last time I will utter the full name of the anime, because it is annoying and extremely long. I'll say the shortened version of the anime NouCome from now on. This anime has a great idea, but squanders it. The beginning of NouCome is definitely interesting, with the main character Kanade being given a choice in public. He must either pick up and smell a porno mag off the ground, or eat that magazine. The choice obviously provides an eye-catching start. He makes the better choice of sniffing it, but he's spotted by some kids while doing it, being called a virgin weirdo, and deservedly so. Kanade is cursed with something he calls absolute choice. At completely random parts throughout the day, he is given a choice. He must pick one of the choices, or else he is hurt. His choice can alter reality around him, making people comply with the choice, change their sex, or cause widespread chaos. The choices are usually weird or perverse in nature, and because of that curse you can assume how he's treated at school, like he's a weirdo. As a matter of fact, he is part of the group known as the Reject 5 at school. From the name alone, you can understand what it's about. Other people think he's weird and keep their distance from him. He's obviously friends with the other members of the Reject 5, since they too are equally weird. Two of the main people in the group are both girls, and they love Kanade. They are Yuoji and Yukihara. Yukihara is always equipped with a poker face. She also looks like Konako from High School DxD. She inserts vulgar words or extremely weird phrases randomly into her conversations with others. It's nearly impossible to get a straight answer from her. Yuoji is essentially the opposite of Yukihara. She's cheerful, hyperactive, and pretty dumb. Both girls are similar in that they like Kanade, but never express their feelings toward him, at least in the anime. Luckily for Kanade, one of the teachers at his school had to deal with absolute choice as well. He is able to voice his frustrations to her. Unfortunately, she's not very helpful. She's just there to be a legal lolly. She suffers from painful headaches when trying to provide helpful information to Kanade. By the end of the first episode, Kanade is forced to pick that a beautiful girl will fall from the sky. This girl, upon landing on Kanade, is struck with amnesia, not even knowing her name. She decides to take the name Chocolat, one letter short of chocolate, since she loves the food. Throughout the show, she acts like a dog, constantly being adored by others and given treats. She is usually seen eating all the treats in the house, making Kanade angry. Kanade is informed by God that he must complete various tasks given to him, otherwise this curse will last forever. Besides that, the God in the show is utterly useless. Kanade is given 4 different missions throughout the anime and completes them all, but by the anime's end, he is still cursed. As a viewer, you get to see the actual solution to Kanade's problem within the last couple of episodes. He has to fall in love with somebody in order to break the curse. He has all these various girls fall in love with him, building out his harem. He can choose any of them, but by the anime's end, he has not chosen a single one yet. He decides to run away and not pick any of them so he doesn't hurt their feelings. Now it's time to point out the bad, which there's a lot of, and the good. Let's start with the bad. Unfortunately, the show is just not very good. Besides Kanade, I felt like all of the characters were not good. It seemed like they were weird just for the sake of being weird. Chocolat was utterly worthless in the show, and it seemed like she was just there to be used for comedic effect. Instead of her being funny or even cute, I was just irritated by her existence. Her purpose was to help Kanade, but her amnesia made her worthless. There is no need for her for plot purposes, nor the cuteness aspect, since other characters filled those roles. It would have been better if she just didn't exist. She's a person who Kanade can fall in love with, but why would he? Yes, she is cute, but throughout the anime he struggles conversing with her because of her amnesia. It'd be much better for him to fall in love with one of Yuoji or Yukihara. There are girls who can also reciprocate that love. He could even pick anybody else that attends his school that develops a crush on him, because there are plenty others throughout the show that do develop feelings for him. NouCome is a harem anime. He is loved by many girls in the show, but in classic fashion is completely unaware throughout the entirety of it, which is annoying to some extent. Most of the choices presented to Kanade throughout the show were pretty self-explanatory as to what he should choose. I wish that he actually had to struggle a bit with his choices. So overall, the characters are horrible, and I think the story is not very good. Now, the redeeming factor of the anime is the idea of absolute choice. Almost everything positive from this anime revolves around the idea of absolute choice. The idea overall is just brilliant. It is the core of the anime, and it provides much of the comedy and drives the story. For example, when Kanade has a quest to see a girl's panties, he's presented with these choices.
選べいつになったらパンツ見せてくれんのもういっそのこと自分がパンツになる
っていつになったらパンツ見せてくれんの
All of these awkward choices that ruin his social status make the show extremely funny at times. The idea of absolute choice is really cool in my opinion, especially since it can be extremely versatile. It forces Kanade to make decisions. Another thing that I did like was that Kanade had a reason why he picked his choices. He always picked the choice that wouldn't trample or affect the feelings of others, even though doing so could make his missions much easier. No matter how bad the choices are, he takes his friends' feelings first, never wanting to hurt them. He's a good guy. Another positive thing to take away from the anime is that at the end of each episode, they played out the scenario of what would have happened if Kanade chose differently with absolute choice. It's a nice little touch to the show. Now, the idea of absolute choice is wasted on this below average anime. I think you can take that same idea of absolute choice and put it into a completely different idea, a completely different genre of anime, and have it be much better than what it was. For example, it can be used on an adventurer. As he explores the world, he has to make choices. Absolute choice pops up when there's a fork in the road and he must choose which road to take. Maybe if he chooses the much harder path and completes it, he gets a reward of +5 to his strength stat, while the easy path hurts his stats or does not give him that big of a buff. When in a town, he's forced to choose to do something outrageous, like run through the town naked or waste all his money on one item, like a bunch of bread. Those choices would make him ruin his reputation in the town or ruin his finances, making him broke, not being able to afford the stuff he will need for the next part of the journey. When fighting a boss, he has to kill it with something weird, like a dildo or something. Now, I thought of this very quickly, and it definitely needs to be expanded upon, but I do think this extremely rough outline of an idea could be much better than what this anime was. Even if you don't think my idea is good, I think this little exercise proves that the idea of absolute choice is extremely versatile. I'm sure it gave you some ideas of how you think it could be much better. NouCome started off solid, but progressively got worse and worse. It's definitely disappointing since it had the groundwork and the potential to be much better than it was. I ended up giving NouCome a rating of 3.75 out of 10. I'm pretty sure it's the lowest rated anime I've done a full length review like this on thus far. I'm sure there's going to be much worse ones in the future though. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Recommend me some anime to watch in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time.